My name is Dr. Jamie Wilkie, and I'm so excited you're joining us to talk about pharmacogenomics today and why it really is the bright future of pharmacy, not only for our profession as a whole, but for you as an individual pharmacist who likely wants more quality patient interactions to get out of just dispensing medication and medicating your patients to actually helping them understand and thrive with their medication, and also providing another layer of financial stability and cushion for you and for your own career. So let's talk about pharmacogenomics and what it is and how it can benefit your career. As a quick way of introduction, my name is Jamie. I want to introduce you to other members of our team here at the PGX Consulting Confidence Academy, Matt and Jennifer. They were past students in the academy who created their own practice and have now come to join us to help more pharmacists create their own practices and really bring pharmacogenomics to their communities. So I want to start with a quick case study, and then we'll cover how this presentation will go today. So our case study involves JM. JM started with the Academy in February of 2021, so it was a little while ago. And he knew he liked pharmacogenetics and he liked precision medicine, but he didn't know how to do anything with it in his job because he was a hospital pharmacist. So he joined the academy, gained confidence in himself, and really mastered best practices for working with labs, creating a business, and implementing a new line of service. Still didn't know where he was going to go with it. And on kind of a like a water cooler moment at the office, he told his supervisor what he was working on. And it turns out that's exactly what the whole hospital system in little old rural Tennessee was looking for. And they asked if he wanted to champion the effort. And so he created a whole new role for himself within his current system that's changed the trajectory of his career. So the exciting thing about pharmacogenomics and becoming a pharmacist who can do things and implement new programs is that it makes yourself more valuable, either as an entrepreneur, creating your own revenue in your community, or as an employee, bringing new service lines to an existing place where you're working. So let's take a couple steps back. In our presentation today, we're going to talk about two things, really. One are some case studies and showing you examples of other pharmacists who have actually started their own business based around precision medicine and how they're successful. And they're all regular pharmacists just like me. And so it's encouraging for you that you can also do this as well. And the second thing that we're going to talk about is how to get out of a job you hate to successfully start your own consulting practice as quick as possible. And so a couple of things before we begin. This is a fun discussion, and so we're going to be using the chat box. So I'll be asking you a couple of questions. I'd love for you to type in the chat so we can see the response as we go in real time, so that we can make sure that this is like hitting what you want to talk about and is relevant to you. So please use this chat box. I'll be asking a couple times to give me a response. Please use the chat box. I would love to hear your response. Secondly, we have some cool bonus material that I want to give you, and I'm going to make you stay till the end so you can hear the whole presentation that you can download right during this presentation. So stay till the end for the bonus material. I'll talk about that more in a second. And lastly, I really would encourage you to tune out distractions. And if now's not a good time that you can't listen without distractions, to just pick another time when we're presenting in the next couple days so you can really focus and listen. Because I know I'm guilty of putting an AirPod in and half listening to a presentation while I run kids around to errands or at the grocery store. But I'm really excited about this presentation uniquely, and I really want you to catch all of the goodness. So if you can tune out distractions right now from the beginning, you'll get a lot more out of this. So first of all, are you in the right place for this presentation? Let's go through a couple of things, see if this resonates with you. If you haven't been able to actually make consulting work for you previously, if you feel stuck in your W-2 position and want more from your career, if you know you want to do something innovative as a pharmacist in your community, but you just don't know how. 4, that you're tired of feeling like you need more education, residencies, degrees, board certification, that those are the secret to changing your career, because that is not true. Or if you're proud of your PharmD or Bachelor's of Pharmacy, and you want to do more with an impact in your community with the knowledge you already have. If this is you, then you're in the right place. And I think you'll enjoy learning about this because the job market for pharmacists is rapidly changing, and we have to adapt our careers to the future. You have felt this, right? That let me go back really quick, that pharmacy is changing. No longer are we tied to dispensing medication. That's being automated. Mail order companies and large retailers are sending those out through the mail and electronically. Pharmacists have to get away from their knowledge being tied to a dispensing model. It's changing quickly, and pharmacists who don't adapt are being left behind. And so it's an exciting time to be a pharmacist and to be in innovation, because the scariest part of innovation is not knowing how to do it and feeling scared that we pharmacists want a step-by-step checklist, and we want our handhelds to know like exactly what we're doing, that we're doing it right, that we're following the rules. And this is what we've created for you in the PGX Consulting Confidence Academy, is that there actually is a blueprint for success. So let's talk about these downloads you'll get at the end. So there's two things. One is this mind map. I'll send you the PDF of all of the different ways you can be a precision medicine pharmacist in your community. This is not like a cookie cutter consulting business where everyone does the same job. No way. A pharmacist who knows precision medicine can work in any of these roles and create them for themselves and their community. Secondly, I want to send you a white paper that was recently published studying the pharmacists in the academy who are doing entrepreneurial things and starting their own consulting practice, so you can see how confident they're feeling and if they feel like they can actually succeed as pharmacists with no prior entrepreneurial experience before. I want you to give these to you, so hang on till the end of the presentation and I'll give you the link to download those. Because as I was talking about a little earlier, like pharmacy is a loud, scary place to be right now. And it's kind of a mess to work there, right? Like type in the chat if just insurance is making you want to it's making your skin crawl. That insurance and PBMs and the metrics that many big companies that so many of us have worked for are like ruining our career and making us feel miserable. And like when I worked in retail, this was probably my face on the phone for most of my 12-hour shifts. Like I just wanted to scream that I thought I was going to be this pharmacist who had amazing patient engagement with the community and like changed lives for good. And what my job really was like stuck on the phone, arguing with insurance, arguing with patients about early refills, blah, 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 like everything except having rewarding patient encounters. And I just felt like I didn't want to do this anymore. And like this career that I put so much time and money into was just shutting me down. And I felt like this, like at the end of every shift, like, what did I get myself into? Now I have all this really specialized knowledge. How do I go from here? I've kind of pigeonholed myself, especially with the working conditions of retail pharmacy specifically. I was a retail pharmacist for more than 10 years at a major chain. And that drive-through button like still sends nightmares in my sleep of like, these are not the working conditions that a healthcare professional should be subject to. And the corporate greed that it felt like I was just a hamster in a hamster wheel earning a ton of money for my company, where over 10 years at my same job at a same big box store, I think I got like a $1 raise over all of that time, whereas their profits were soaring. It just felt really frustrating. And I felt like a cog in a wheel that was just endlessly working, but not making a difference. And with student loans stacking up, as well as just the cost of living, my compensation was not at all matching the increasing costs of living, and not, let alone like an economy that is going through some real struggles right now. Felt like I personally had to make changes, and we as a profession have to make changes before we get into an even worse financial place. And this is happening all over the country. Like, for example, CVS just pulled the rug out from under hundreds of pharmacists by closing 900 stores. And one of our friends in the academy sent me this text saying, my fridge broke and I walked into work and all of our pharmacies are closed. Now I suddenly have no job. Like, this is the stark reality of what can happen. Like overnight, you can go from not being really happy in your job, but being employed, to suddenly the rug is pulled out from under your feet. We're unemployed. And as like regular old pharmacists, we're all the same in that we don't have any outstanding skills that really sets us apart from one another. We're all just really good at doing a very niche job. And so it's a scary place to be a pharmacist who's competing for lower wages in worse working conditions because our salaries have not been going up over the past 10 years. They've just been getting worse and worse. And with the crazy sign-on bonuses that we're seeing happening are really, to me, showing that like these are terrible working conditions if you're willing to pay this huge sign-on bonus to get someone into this condition. Like what are you trading? How much sanity are you trading for your money in this current job market on where pharmacy's at? Because all of these old traditional ways of working in a pharmacy, in retail settings, hospital settings, they're all very product-based settings. But the future of viable jobs into the future is knowledge-based work that cannot be automated and that can't be outsourced. And pharmacy has yet to really embrace a knowledge-based role. We're still stuck in product-based dispensing, and it really feels like a dead end, right? Like you can feel this. Do you feel like where you're at in pharmacy feels like a dead end? If it does, please type in the chat like what your experience is, if you feel like you're kind of topped out at your earning power and where your career is at. Because I know I felt trapped in my career and felt like at times, this is kind of crazy to admit, but I really even felt like I should probably just quit pharmacy and get trained in another profession because I'm so stuck. Like I did retail for 10 years. I would apply to hospital jobs, any other jobs, and no one would even give me a call back. So I felt like if I'm not going to be this retail girl, then maybe I should just quit and like become a realtor or figure out this cryptocurrency everyone's talking about and like just leave pharmacy altogether because I felt like there was no room for growth for me. Now, happily, I can let you know that that was crazy and that was a false limiting belief. And there's actually so much more pharmacists can do. They're just roles we have to create ourselves because as you've seen, like these roles are not available on Indeed.com or Monster.com, and they're not like out there waiting for us. The advance of pharmacy comes from pharmacists doing unique and amazing things and creating their own programs within their own either workplace and developing programs as an entrepreneur or rolling out services in their community as an entrepreneur. Because I know I tried everything that didn't work for those 10 years in searching for a new job, looking to get like a different license in healthcare. I thought like, well, maybe if I'm a PA or a nurse practitioner, like that would give me job satisfaction, where I already had a doctor of pharmacy. I was just not utilizing it well. I looked at getting into residency programs across the country, looked at getting board certified, and all of that felt like so much work with no clear, tangible outcome other than more letters after my name. So I spent a lot of time complaining how I have this awesome degree, but I have nowhere to go with it. And I know I'm not alone because I think this is Jackie. She's in our group. She felt the same thing. Like after working for 20 years, she just had to take a break out of her comfort zone because sacrificing her health and wealth of knowledge in exchange for a steady paycheck is not something she could do every day. And this is my favorite line. I'm truly doing myself an injustice if I stay stagnant and keep doing what I've been doing. And anyway, she's joined us. She's creating an awesome practice of her own. And it's a joy to see her transition from doing the same thing for more than 20 years into creating something that didn't exist before in her own community. So I kind of jumped ahead of myself, but to give you like my actual introduction, my name is Jamie. I'm a pharmacist out here in Utah, entrepreneur, and I have 4 little boys. And I have a very real, normal life. I don't have a residency. I don't have a board certification. I have nothing other than a doctor of pharmacy that I got. Like I am as regular a pharmacist as you get. I have not done anything cool. I like just worked in retail for 10 years and have 4 boys. So my life is very busy, very chaotic. And so part of that like need for a change, not only was I burned out in a very stagnant position that had me overworked and underpaid, but also like these 4 kids, that my job was hijacking my life. Like I couldn't drive them to preschool in the middle of the day. I couldn't go to the Christmas program in the middle of the day because it would conflict with the shift. And as you know, pharmacists can't just like leave work and go do a thing and come back. Like the whole pharmacy has to shut down. So anyway, not only was like the job itself not ideal for me, the lifestyle it gave me, that I had to be at work, clocking in for those hours, physically present, wasn't something I wanted to do for another 10 years. I wanted to actually see my family and be with them, and to be able to separate my time from being physically present at a location to earn money, to have the flexibility to earn other ways. There's me at that pharmacy. Like, my babysitter would bring my kids to visit me because I missed them, and I would get home after they were in bed. Anyway, I was miserable and locked in that pharmacy for way too long. So a like 30-second journey of how I went from being a burned out pharmacist in retail to creating my own consulting practice was, I just had to like muscle through and figure it out. So I read a lot of entrepreneurships, probably more than 100 in over the course of 2 years. I worked with really expensive career coaches and probably just spent 1,000 hours learning about PGX consulting and entrepreneurship in my community. Like, 1,000 hours I didn't have after my kids went to bed, as I was driving to work, even at work. I would like listen to webinars and get on meetings because I was a sponge. I needed to get out of there, and there was no solution for me. So I had to figure it out myself. And so I figured it out by trial and error, and have had a lot of interest in this, that pharmacy's been excited about pharmacogenomics, but hasn't really championed it. So made it on some cool podcasts and been featured in a number of places. And my favorite part is that teaching what I've learned in creating systems and processes and checklists now allows hundreds of pharmacists to do the same thing. So I just want to share some examples of pharmacists in our community who are doing the same thing. Like, this girl joined our Quitters Club. We have a Quitters Club in the academy that people who finally cut the cord and quit their miserable job. Give my 2 weeks notice today. I'm not a slave to the corporation. I see my first patient at a psychology clinic this week. I have my first real customer tomorrow. My presentation went so well, they're introducing me to leadership of the organization. And this group of clinics is interested in my services. And this is one of my favorites, is like, she went to a small business expo in her town, and there was so much interest in what she did from a financial consultant that he didn't even talk about himself. He was so excited about like his connections that he had with pharma that they would have never known about, and like getting her set up with physician groups that he knew. Like, so many connections are happening in these communities of pharmacists who had no idea it was out there because they were like me and like just regular people, but now have the confidence to share how they're bringing precision medicine uniquely to their community and seeing a lot of success. So it's so exciting. And one of my favorite quotes is from Teamy that says, "Be your own boss. If you're aiming for true wealth and freedom, consider starting your own business." Because the joy of starting your own business is that you really do get to be your own boss and grow and earn up to your own flexibility. And so it's really rewarding to not be a slave to the metrics anymore, because this is how I felt at that store, like just chasing time for money. I could only earn as much as the hours I worked. And so all of my retail compadres would be like, "Oh, if you just want more money, you just work more overtime." And so they would work like crazy overtime, like 90 or 100 hours a week just to get that extra money. And it just felt like, especially with me, with my kids, with having a 2-income family, like, I can't be away from them anymore, especially for money. We have to be smart about earning, and to be able to change your earning power rather than just throwing more hours at it if you want to earn more money. Like, being smart about this, earn more money rather than killing yourself off on the treadmill. And so here's another couple examples of pharmacists who have done it, who like took the steps to start their own business, to get their LLC and EIN number. And so they can like take care of their kids and show them the value of PGX. And doing all like these things are so rewarding and fun because they're easy. They're really easy to do, like how to set up your own business. And by setting up her own business and being a leader in her geographic area, Melissa got published and created actually a really cool role for herself at a company who saw what she was doing. And they're like, "Hey, will you just come be on our leadership team because we love what you're doing and we need a pharmacist. And she said, like, okay, yes. So what I want to convey to you is there's just so much possibility for pharmacists who are doing things and taking action. So even if you're scared to be an entrepreneur and don't necessarily want to like work for yourself for the next 20 years, just by creating a business and just by being a leader in the space and creating solutions, you attract opportunities to you that you would never have before. So the PGX Consulting Confidence Academy isn't just about like, here, you are a business owner. Now for the rest of your life, you'll do this little business thing. Yes, many do, and it's really cool. But it really just shifts like how you work and how you present yourself to the world so that you become a magnet for opportunities for consulting big clinics, consulting systems, to people just want to pull you out of your practice and hire you for a job that already exists. And all of this, like, you'll never know about unless you become a lightning rod for magnetism by actually creating something that didn't exist. That's how you stand out in the world of pharmacy, not by fighting over who has the most letters after their name. It's by doing something unique. So at this point, we've been talking a lot about pharmacogenomics. Let's just talk about what pharmacogenomics is. I'll give you like a 2-minute overview on what pharmacogenomics is and the power of pharmacogenomics, because I know I graduated back in 2010. So I don't think pharmacogenomics was even dressed in my pharmacy school. I didn't know anything about it at all. And so if we as medication experts don't know about it, here's your little review. It's the combination of genetics and pharmacology. Oh, is that my slide about it? Okay. So what it is, actually I have a better slide for this. So let me get over to this. Okay, so this is what pharmacogenomics looks like. You get a lab test. It's just like a single lab test, cheek swab, saliva sample, a patient does right in front of you, and that you can understand from the rest of your life how the patient metabolizes all of the different medications depending on the pharmacokinetic or pharmacodynamic pathway it goes through. So here's just a sample report showing like, look, CYP1A2 is a normal metabolizer, 2D6 is a poor metabolizer, increased risk and poor function for a couple of pharmacodynamic pathways, because everyone's unique and no one metabolizes medication the same way. And so once you can understand how medication works for them, you've saved patients from one, medication's not working at all in the first place, or two, they work, but they give them a lot of side effects. You can actually help patients and intelligently prescribe instead of just like the shotgun approach of just throwing medications at people and hoping that they work. That is crazy. And yet still most all prescribers are doing that today because pharmacy hasn't really championed pharmacogenomics, and that intelligent prescribing saves lives, save costs for patients, for providers, and for third parties, and really is just the future of personalized care. Like thinking of yourself at your job, if someone had a penicillin allergy on file, would you give them penicillin? No, like red alarms would go off and like everything would shut down. You'd make sure they didn't get a medication that didn't work for them. Likewise, pharmacogenomics also needs to be taken into account for every prescription we're processing for our patients, because they don't metabolize them the same. And there's really bad side effects when they get the wrong medication. Not only have patients died, but they have terrible side effects, and it just takes a long time to get to the right therapy, especially living in this age of mental health crises. Medication isn't the be-all, end-all solution for mental health, but getting medication right the first time saves the patient so much grief and so much money. A recent statistic on antidepressants is a patient's first antidepressant is 50 to 75% likely to not work on the first one their doctor gives them. Also with schizophrenia, 30% of schizophrenia patients do not get adequate therapy from their first medication. Like, these are crazy numbers that are not acceptable, that are probably leading to medication-related deaths being the 5th leading cause of death in the United States total. Number 5 leading cause of death in the country. And yet pharmacy is still kind of ignoring precision medicine, hoping that like, I don't know, prescribers will take it up. But prescribers are overwhelmed and they cannot deal with pharmacogenomics. The science has been around for more than 20 years. It is well studied, well validated, clear guidelines to follow, but prescribers are too busy and they're already overwhelmed in their jobs, so they cannot have the bandwidth to see this report, interpret it correctly, and feel confident talking with patients about it. And that's where the magic role of the pharmacist comes in, is like, this is our bread and butter. And even if you feel intimidated and like not like a geneticist, you actually already have a doctor of pharmacy in pharmacogenomics, whether you know it or not. All you need is to just be brushed up on like how this works. You are 99% of the way there. You do not need like a board certification, not that they have one, in PGX, or residency, or even a master's degree. Like, you're a pharmacist. This is what we do. And this is the magic of bringing precision medicine to our community. You don't have to like radically change roles and like do something different. Just be a pharmacist that is relevant in this day and age and actually bringing precision medicine, because prescribers are not opposed to PGX. They just can't deal with it. They don't have the bandwidth for it. And so this is the perfect time for a pharmacist to slide in and show their value. I'll come back here really quick, because it should not be PGX treated as a silo branch of pharmacy, because it's just a standard of care for patients, just like basing medications on renal function or hepatic function or age or gender or weight or allergies. It's not like, oh, I'm a renal care pharmacist, therefore I only give medications to patients if they're optimized for their renal function. This is something we all need to be doing and embracing, and so few are that those that do get to be leaders in their field and have massive opportunities, which is pretty cool, because pharmacogenomics is just intelligent prescribing and doing the right thing for our patients. It's been around for 20 years. Standard of care will be near in the future. The only reason it's not here is, I think, for two reasons. One, the complexity of integrating it with EHRs and prescribing systems. And two, that like no profession has actually embraced owning this. And this is where pharmacy shines. And if we don't embrace this, then another profession will, and we will miss out on some really cool jobs in the future, because pharmacists are not championing the cause. Like, let the robots, let the machines, let the techs dispense medicine. Our job is to help our patients with the knowledge we have. And so those who can benefit most from PGX, really most disease states, but the biggest ones are psychiatry, oncology, cardiology, pain, infectious disease. So it's not like just a little population that maybe a few people in your community may need. If patients are taking medications, then they can likely benefit from pharmacogenomics, because more than 95% of Americans have at least one actionable genotype, and 1 in 3 people taking medication are on a medication that is not optimized for their DNA. So like low-hanging fruit. And you see how the polypharmacy and the overprescribing that happens, like, this is one more tool in our tool belt to get prescribing right and to really help, especially with mental health right now. Our patients need it. And I think it's our responsibility as pharmacists to create these knowledge-based roles. And our profession is the best to champion pharmacogenomics. Doctors are overwhelmed. They can't process these. This is what pharmacists do. There's so much potential out there for pharmacists like you to champion these services in your community, because this is just an example from 23andMe. 23andMe is a direct-to-consumer company where patients can order their own pharmacogenomics reports. So patients want these and they're ordering themselves. That's how much there is a need for these in the country. That 23andMe isn't the only one. There's direct-to-consumer reports of people getting pharmacogenomics reports. They want to know how their medicine is working for them. And the limitation of these reports is they are not very comprehensive and need a pharmacist to walk through them. And so this is not like replacing a pharmacist. This is showing there is a huge need, and that pharmacists can very easily come in and help these people who are opting in to getting better help. And I know if you're like most pharmacists and like me, you feel like, well, this is cool, but I need more education. I'm not enough. I need all of the board certification, residency, whatever. And you don't. You do not. You are enough as a pharmacist. And so a couple of different angles I want to talk with you about ways that you can actually bring this to your community. Here's 3, but then refer to the mind map at the end that has all of them. So 1, you can just consult with patients directly, like create your own consulting practice direct to patients and work with your own patients independently. Pretty cool. Also, you can use this as a tool in your tool belt and partner with prescribers, whether they're MDs, DOs, PAs, nurse practitioners, behavioral health clinics, addiction or rehab centers in the community. Any group of professionals in the community that is dealing with medication is likely overwhelmed by it and needs help optimizing it. And when you can show yourself as a solution, you can just create a job for yourself helping an already existing bucket of patients. So cool. Or the third one, if entrepreneurship like scares you to death and you love the job you're in, but want to make yourself more valuable into the future, then this is just a value added service for your existing position so that you can say like, oh, I can help implement this program. I know all the ins and outs of pharmacogenomics and how to apply it and the software and technology and processes. Like, let's get this up and running in our company. You will be pretty invaluable. So this, as I've said before, is not like a cookie cutter, oh, you do one little role and that's it. Like, what we teach in the academy is a buffet of all of the different opportunities and different ways you can pair pharmacogenomics with other existing pharmacist-led services. So we offer a buffet of so many different options, and you get to pick how you put them together and how you work with patients in your community, which is pretty awesome because everyone's doing something a little different and we're all learning from each other. Because as you feel like it's time for a change, and if you're wondering if PGX is right for you, it's right for you and your patients if they take medicine there, especially if they're polypharmacy patients or take any of these categories of medications, or if they suffer from medication side effects or feel like medication isn't working for them. And PGX may not be right for you or your patients if no one ever takes prescription or over-the-counter medication and never ever will in the future. Because labs are anxious to work with pharmacists, and pharmacists have never worked with labs before, so they get intimidated and like don't know how to work with them and order these tests. And labs, we've actually found, have been our biggest resource because they're hounding providers, trying to get them to champion this cause. And our pharmacists are showing up and saying like, hey, we're doing this. And the labs are actually like feeding them opportunities to say like, hey, we have these connections in the community. These people are interested. Can you help actually implement it? Because it's one thing to order the test and get the results, and it's another thing to actually implement that into patient care, to make changes now, as well as make sure those changes are staying the same into the future. So even if pharmacogenomics seems scary or intimidating or technical for you, I assure you, you can do this. There's more than 300 of us in this academy all across the country in every state, and a few international pharmacists. So if you're an international pharmacist and feeling like, well, that's cool in America, you can absolutely bring this to your country as well. Like, you can do this. It just needs someone who cares about medications and patients to bring this in. So now here's the point of like opportunity and being the solution that you've been looking for in your career for a while. Because PGX is kind of exactly what you've been looking for after all this time, to help you start taking the steps to break the handcuffs from a job that's making you miserable. Because that's the nice thing about creating a consulting practice, is that it's very lean and there's a lot of freedom to grow your income consistently so that you feel comfortable breaking those chains. This is not like, hey, quit your job tomorrow. You'll have this amazing pharmacist salary the next day with no work. Like, that's not real life. Real life, building a business and creating something from scratch takes work and takes consistent steps. But the joy of consulting is that like you don't have to buy products, or you don't have to have staff. You don't have to have a brick and mortar. You don't have to take out like a mega loan to start a company. You're really just paying with your time and just starting with your time. And so the consulting practice is like the easiest, most nimble business model to start, because there's like no risk and all reward with this. So you can start now to take those steps to get the freedom, because the day you get the notice that your job has been eliminated is not the day to start your company. You should have started that 6 months to a year ago, so you had planted all your seeds and got everything in place so you can be ready to harvest, rather than trying to force it in an emergency situation. Because as I've talked about, like, this is, I don't know why it's blurry, starting your own consulting practice and going in on yourself and making yourself valuable and a solution for your community is no risk and all reward, because the most exciting part about the academy and like what we train pharmacists to do is to just stop thinking like regular scared pharmacists and to start thinking about innovative pharmacists who are confident bringing services to the community. So that's why we put confident in the title, because confidence is the biggest part, so that you're not feeling scared and intimidated, because too many of us are scared of risk and like we don't want to do anything unless we guarantee it'll work. And that's keeping us extremely stuck. And just keeping our head in the sand, because I know all of my poor workers back at that retail store, we all like would talk about this when we had a second to talk, like the writing is on the wall for traditional pharmacy. Like we are going to be automated out. Tech verification will take over. Like only a few of us will be working from home, like remote verifying everything. All the rest of us, our jobs are probably just going to be eliminated. They're not coming back. Are we just going to like stick our head in the sand and enjoy those paychecks until that day comes, or see the writing on the wall and start intelligently planning now, even if we don't have a lot of time because we have, 4 kids or a busy family, and to just slowly taking little steps every day, every week, every month to build something that is valuable for us in the future, instead of just hiding and hoping that it doesn't come to bite us. Because your biggest limitation to this is your imposter syndrome and feeling like you can't actually do this. We all face imposter syndrome. And so just learning how to think like a confident pharmacist who does cool things is going to be the biggest unlock to actually charging for your services. What? And helping patients in this new, unique way, because this is where we want to be. This is where you're so talented and skilled. And this is like where your heart goes, that you want to help patients and use your brain and use your real world experience to help them. But we just can't do that in traditional positions, but you can create those for yourself and like a position exactly that you want in your community, whether it's working with patients independently, working with a bucket of patients in a clinic, or just building something amazing at the company you're already at. Because as Edward Abrams, who is the president of the PMC, said, one day patients are going to say, I'm not an average patient. I am who I am. You need to understand who I am before you prescribe your treatment for me. And that's how patients are feeling today. Like people do not want the same therapy as someone else because they know it's not working as well. Especially, here's my little PGX tangent, especially patients of different ethnicities. They respond to medications wildly differently than the white Caucasian males that were studied by Big Pharma when the drugs were developed. They're responding completely differently to medication, and they need to be treated differently. And this is how we do this, especially to take care of those populations who are already vulnerable to healthcare inequality. This is such an easy, valuable way to help make sure they're getting the help that they need. And I know you, like fancy pants pharmacists, love studies and want to see the studies on it. And this is one that was really interesting to me. Personalized medicine, are pharmacists ready for the challenge? And here, I'm just going to read this because this is one of my favorite sentences. Fortunately, opportunities for pharmacists in personalized medicine are great, and many of the weaknesses that currently limit practice in advancement are, in fact, unique opportunities for true practice innovation. Creation of new practice models in both inpatient and community settings, while being challenging, is a unique opportunity afforded by personal medicine. And this is something we've seen now that we're more than 300 strong and all across the country, is that it may be challenging, but addressing that and like showing your solution has opened so many doors for so many of these pharmacists that they never knew existed, that were sitting right in front of them. It's such an exciting time to be a pharmacist. And one of the cool things of owning your own company and developing your own services is that you can set your own wage. And we teach you all about how to do that intelligently and in a way that's profitable, so that not only are you being like an amazing pharmacist and helping your community, but your career and your finances are rewarded as well. Because pharmacists too often give away their information for free, and therefore they like financially aren't getting ahead. And if you're not happy and doing well financially, then your business isn't going to succeed. So our emphasis is definitely on making you profitable from the very beginning, which we teach in our methods in the academy. So not only is this like great for patients, but for you and supporting your family as well, adding another layer of earnings to your balance book every week is a really nice benefit. Because as we all know, with like student loans and just living life, like the more financially stable you can be, then the more confident you feel and the better your well-being overall. So I hope you're feeling like excited about your career and feeling free, and that like there's a lot of opportunity out there. It's just up to you to plug into what's in your community and to be proactive instead of reactive and just hoping a job will see your value. Because these pharmacists who have joined with us are able to charge so much more than the hourly rate that they're making at their pharmacy, that it's really rewarding and exciting to see, because you're very smart and you should be paid for that, and to have these really rewarding encounters with your patients. Because as I've said before, like what you think are limiting beliefs and holding you back actually aren't. So let's go through some limiting beliefs. I love addressing limiting beliefs. And here's some that pharmacists commonly say. I'm like, well, that's cool that these pharmacists are doing it, but I can't because here's some. I don't live in the right area. Either like I live in a small town couldn't support this, or I live in a big city and I don't know anyone. Like, it doesn't matter where you live. If there are humans who take medicine, you are in an area that can benefit from this. You're not smart. Of course you're smart enough. If you are smart enough to be a pharmacist, whether a bachelor's of pharmacy or a PharmD, you can totally do this. Do not let the genetics component scare you. We make it easy and fun in the academy, if that's what you're worried about. Not knowing anything about business, welcome to the club. More than 95% of our academy members have never started a business before. 0 business experience. Like, you're in good hands. I never started a business before. I didn't know anything about it. And if you're worried about being shy, that you're not this gregarious, amazing personality, that's okay. We teach you how to find and work with patients in a way that makes you feel comfortable and plays to your strengths. So you don't have to be a personality that you're not. You can be a shy person. You can be an introvert person and have a successful business. You just have to learn how to market yourself and to reach out to your ideal client. And we will teach you that. You don't need more education. You're a pharmacist. You are enough. You don't feel ready, probably because of life. Like, holidays are coming up. We all know that. And like kids in school and health and blah, 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 blah. Like, there is never a time in life that you're ready. Like, something always happens. And that's one of the pillars of what we teach at the academy, is like, if you can start a business when life is busy and when life is messy, then you can succeed in the business. If you need a perfect life before you can do something innovative, then it's never going to happen. You're going to be a victim of your circumstances and you'll always blame something else. But if you're willing to like work in the chaos and build something even when everything isn't perfect for your life, then that's where the magic happens. And if you can build it during craziness, because life is always crazy, you'll be able to keep growing that, versus starting it when the seas are calm and there's no wind. And then once something comes up, because all life always happens, then it'll sink your ship and I can't work unless life is perfect and you're ready. You're never ready. So just start and like hang with us, because we'll talk in a minute, but like you can go as fast or slow as you want. So there's no time rush at all. Being ready is just actually starting. And if you're not a native English speaker, that is fine. We have many non-native English speakers in the group, and that is not limiting them. So don't worry if you're a non-native English speaker, and don't worry if you don't have enough time. You will make time, and we'll show you how. And if you want to see how much time you actually have, like go to your phone and look at your screen time over the past week. That will show you X number of hours that if you had intelligently applied even a fraction of them, even 10 or 20% of them toward taking baby steps to grow the services and what you're doing in your community, you have enough time. So time is not an actual excuse. And there's more than enough room for everyone. We have, as we've said, more than 300 pharmacists who've done this program all across the country and world. And that is like just scratching the surface. So don't even worry that is like saturated or too many. Like we're just getting started, and the number of patients you need to see is so small that even a small town can definitely keep a few consultant pharmacists up and running. So if that crossed your mind, that's not even a thing. So now your job is to just decide if you're going to stay in your comfort zone where you're safe and comfortable but not moving, or if you're going to step out to where the magic happens and just see what can happen with your career when you're willing to be brave and take charge and do new things. Because unfortunately, the truth of life is in your comfort zone is not where the success is. And those people who are successful and adapting to the new rules of pharmacy are getting out of their comfort zone. And it might be scary, but it's the best thing you can do for your career, because pharmacists are really good at staying comfortable in their comfort zone. So you have like no competition. The rest of our profession is staying in their comfort zone. So if you're willing to just get a little uncomfortable and take a few steps out, that's where success is. Because you're feeling this, right? Like if you want different results in your life, then you have to act differently. So I haven't typed in the chat for a little while. Why don't we type in the chat right now? If you want different results in your life, then type in the chat, like, do you actually want different results in your career? Type yes, or like, no, I'm very happy in my career. Like, let me know. I want to see how you're feeling at this point and if you're willing to act. So if you're, okay, so we've got a couple people come in the chat. They're willing to have different results in their life. Okay, so my next question is, are you willing to act differently as a result and start taking those steps to get different results? Yeah? Okay, yeah, some of you are. Awesome. I love this chat. Thank you for typing it. It's fun to see what you guys are saying. So at this point, you got to decide, like, are you ready to stop just wishing you had a better career and applying to new jobs, hoping that they'll be your career salvation? Or are you ready to actually like create your dream career? So I want to show you a couple of examples of pharmacists who are doing this in our group, because it just is so fun to see them doing this. So this is Dominique. She said, everyone, if you're doubting the possibility that we can change healthcare, we can and will. So she went to this, it was psychiatric APN conference, and it was held by a regional chair, and there were 40 there, and no one knew about like the resources for pharmacogenomics and like how to actually do this. And so she had so many people reach out to her and to like see so much positive feedback. Like I couldn't hold back the tears for receiving so much feedback. And this was just one opportunity that came out of left field from talking to one nurse practitioner. Like, again, just start having conversations in your community and like sharing what you're doing, and you're a magnet for opportunity, because doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. So don't worry about failing. Failing happens all the time, and we embrace failure in the academy and like teach you how to fail intelligently so you can keep moving forward. This is not like you either succeed or you fail. It's building a business you've never done before, so you're going to fail on the way. Here's how to fail intelligently, how to fail for free, how to fail where there's no consequences other than you just get back up and try again, because that will not stop you. Your doubt in yourself is what will actually stop you. And here's a thing from Nathan. He's one of our pharmacists. He said, the course gave me everything I needed and more to be confident in pursuing my career. It's been a pleasure logging in each week and soaking up the advice. Here's a few more pharmacists who've like started opening their mouths and touching, as this one said, this is Chad. I may have just touched off the powder keg because he just started talking to a doctor at a birthday party, and now he's working with them and the doctor's sending him referrals, like all from going to a birthday party and sharing what he did. And this pharmacist has a meeting with a TV station because they saw her social media posts. This pharmacist had to do something creative with her board of pharmacy to be able to see patients. And so she had to set up like her own board of pharmacy to get it approval. And it's just a closet in her house. So she has like this closet in her house with a lock to get what she needs to be able to work with patients. Like, these are such easy, scrappy solutions that we're all doing together and seeing awesome results. And so I want you to feel confident that like you can totally do this too and see some awesome results and to get feedback quickly, because you are enough to do this and you can totally do this. It's just choosing whether you will or not, and like actually take control of your future, because you can do this. And so we've talked about limiting beliefs. I want to address excuses really quick, and I'll show you a couple more examples really quick. So most of the excuses, this is from James Clear, I made are not enough time. How many of you feel that? not enough money, not enough knowledge, not the right connections. Like, we all say these things. They're really just ways to avoid the real bottleneck. Not enough courage. There's always something you could do if you had the guts to do it. And that's what we do. Like, we're a group of pharmacists who has the guts to just slowly but surely make those changes. Here's a couple more examples. Went to the small, oh yeah, I already shared this with, but I love them. So I wanted to bring it back again. Going to the Small Business Expo and meeting people in the community that need a pharmacist. They've just not been able to find one. And so the how of doing this is what we teach in the academy, because our pharmacy profession is very good at learning and learning new things, but we're terrible at like actually rolling those out into new and innovative services and working with patients. We're really good at learning, but terrible at like doing the thing. And so the academy teaches you how to build a strong foundation and to build quickly and efficiently with very low cost, because it's just fun to build scrappy and to build in public. And so what you get, and how this academy works, is you get a roadmap for success with a clear timeline and checklists and more than 60 hours of material teaching you exactly how to go from clueless pharmacist who wants more to understanding pharmacogenomics, understanding how to start a business, understanding how to do marketing and get clients, working with providers, working with patients, getting all of your software backend in line, having the confidence and mindset to do so, and understanding all of the other pharmacist-led services that you can pull together so you're not just a one-trick pony doing PGX testing, that you're bringing a rich variety of services that are covered by insurance and that you can charge cash for. We teach you all of that, as well as highlight members who've been successful so you can like hear from their story and learn exactly what they're doing step by step. So you have everything you need, 60 hours of material, networking and support, and it's all in a self-paced course. So if you like just quit your job yesterday and you're going all in on yourself, like we've had some pharmacists do, you can hit the ground running and get this done in like 4 weeks and blast through it and get that business up and going. We've had people do that. Most of our members are building this on the side. They're building a side hustle, earning $100 and then earning $500, earning $5,000, then earning $10,000, and seeing their earnings go up consistently so that they can slowly pare down on their job, go from full-time to part-time, and then part-time to 2 days a week, and to consistently build and see that what you're building is working, getting traction, so you can confidently make those changes in your career. And anyway, I kind of got off track. The other people are building more on the side because they have either young kids or they're working full-time or working 2 jobs and they don't have a lot of time. You'll enjoy this course because it's video, but you can just listen to it on audio. So as you're driving to work and back, you just listen to the course instead of the radio, and you can learn as you go, as slow as you want. If you want to take an entire year, take an entire year. There's no rush. It's totally up to you and your circumstances and how fast you want to go, because the time is ticking to change your career, and we can show you how to do that as efficiently as possible. So here's like a little sneak peek into what each of the big modules looks like. And then each of the lessons are between 5 and 15 minutes to like, it's like your best friend is holding your hand and telling you like, this is how to build a business. Here's what to do next. Check off this box. Here's what to do next. Check off this box. Here's exactly what you need, because you don't have a lot of time and you don't want to figure it out. So you just plug into the system, and that's how it works. It's pretty awesome. Here's Rick. He likes the modules. They're set up to maximize your learning as fast as possible. And those who are strapped for time should have no problem getting through the material, which might be you. And so here's examples of individual lessons that our members like, especially in working with labs, because probably half of our members come to the academy with some sort of PGX certificate. They like got an official certificate so they understand the science of PGX. But where they still are lacking is like, okay, but how do I apply it? How do I work with labs? How do I work with prescribers and patients? Like, how do I actually do this in my community? And the other half of our new members have not had a PGX certificate. Some choose to get one to deepen their knowledge in PGX, and others just like get enough from our course that they're often running to the races. So I just want to address PGX certification. That teaches you all of the science of pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. But what we teach is like actually doing it and earning money for it in your community. Oh, here's another little testimonial from Brittany that I'll move my head. Maybe. Well, anyway, the course was totally worth the time and effort. I feel I'll be able to confidently start my own practice with the information provided. From Brittany. Thank you, Brittany. And anyway, here's some example lessons of like how to work with providers, because that's the thing we've seen pharmacists are the most scared of like how to talk to providers, how to get them to agree to send you their patients and like work with them. We talk you through that. Don't even worry about it. It's a great course, blah, blah, blah. We just have a lot of happy clients, and we want you to be one of them too, because we can help your career. So the course timeline, as we've talked about, you can do it as fast as you want. You want to do it in 4 weeks, you can go through it super fast. Most people take between 6 to 12 months and do it slowly but surely on the side. And the way it works is that you just have access for the whole year. So even if you're going through it super fast, you can check back with us because we're updating the material almost every week. And so what you see today, we're still expanding that over the course of the year because things change and we like to keep you updated. So you get to hang with us for a whole year, and most of our members renew for multiple years because it's a great resource. So anyway, course timeline goes fast or slow as you want. Totally up to you. And my favorite part is the community that we're building. Let me skip to the community part. Here's the community part. So not only will the course is self-paced and you can like learn as fast as you want online or like listening as you drive, but the best part is that we have a private Facebook page only for people who are actually doing this, your peers who are 1 step and 5 steps and 10 steps ahead of you, and they will help you and they're sharing their experiences and like wins and failures and like what worked for them. So you're not only learning from the courses themselves and from our team and their resources, but from people like just like you who were in your steps 3 months and 6 months and 2 years ago, and to see what they've built. And so this is where like the rubber meets the road, and you can ask all the questions you want because it's 24 hours a day. You can ask any questions. We all hop in and respond. And then we also have live group meetings and where you can like come in and we can really workshop whatever you're going through to help you find a solution. And so it's a group of community, and kind of all of our favorite part is that you have pharmacists who think like you, who are big-minded and want more from their careers and are doing big, scary things in their community. You have like this safe, awesome space to talk this out with your peers. Because if you're not building your own consulting practice, you're not in the group. So it's only really high quality people who are amazing. And they're so generous. And we're all just sharing openly everything that's working for us, like forms and templates and scripts. Like all of that is just being generously shared. And you get to just tap into it and come join us. So kind of my favorite part is not just saying like, here you go, here's your checklist, go build your business, bye. But that we have a supportive group that will love you and take care of you. And as many questions as you ask, we will answer. So here's like examples of what people are sharing in the group that like, I just got my certification and I'm working with the board of pharmacy, and like, these are the action steps I'm taking this week, because we believe that the rising tide lifts all boats, and we're all honestly helping each other and not like guarding our secrets and guarding our success tips like a dragon guards its gold. No way. We're sharing everything that we have with you, and like, we're all helping each other out. We all win. So right now you get to get where you are, like on your little bike, slowly pedaling away, trying to figure it out yourself, or you can just like plug into our jet plane and get there way faster, way more confidently, and miss 100 of the failures that me and the group members had to live. It really is, if you're serious about this, like just learn from people who've already done it rather than going the slow way on a bike and trying to figure it out yourself, because we want to help you. So we've already talked about the different ways you can use pharmacogenomics. Here's one more really quick case study, and then I'll give you those, I'll talk about how to talk about your unique situation and give you those downloads I promised. So Dale was in our she still is in our academy. She's been with us for a couple of years now. And she was a bachelor's of pharmacy pharmacist with 29 years of experience in independent pharmacy. And she just felt stuck. She's like, I'm in a small town in Alabama. Nothing is going to change in my career if I don't change, right? So she has created her own practice called Flourish Health. And I'll move my head so you can see this. She's so excited to get started that she actually talked to a friend and psychologist who told her she was starting her business. And she said, oh, I want you to like meet all of my patients and do a consult for them. And so she actually like got plugged into a behavioral health clinic. And now, like, I think within a month or two of starting, she like went to part-time in the pharmacy and started seeing patients in that clinic because she just opened her mouth in the community. She had services she could offer and like created a new part-time job for herself that paid way more so she could start stepping out of a job she hated, like into something that worked. And it was a really big help because it's a behavioral health practice that didn't have a prescriber on staff. So all these people were off on their medications and no one knew how to help them. And then the medication expert came and everyone loves her there. And she's still working there. It's so awesome. So as a summary, what you'll get, this is like the only precision medicine program like that actually teaches you entrepreneurship and like how to do this in your community with ongoing network and support. We're kind of fun. Includes 12 full months of course material access, plus exclusive access to the community and being featured on our website. There's the modules. Do not recreate the wheel. Like we've done it. If you're smart and value your time and money, you will just plug into a system that works instead of figuring it out yourself. And here's a website that you get to be featured on as an Academy member. Once you create your business and get up and running, we're going to feature you on our website. And this is a website that will drive traffic to your business because we want to really help you thrive and get as many clients as possible. And so it's the first of its kind national database where according to your specialization and the states you're licensed in, we are going to send patients to you and put your contact information on. So anyone who sees that website will find you and can easily work with you because we really want to drive customers to you and make it very easy to see a return on your investment. Because we have a couple of different specializations within here that we have pharmacogenomics, nutrigenomics, and functional wellness to start with, and that will grow over time. So we want to feature you. So that's another perk is you get featured on our website. You also get a timeline for like how to do this very clearly over time, like what to do next, as well as the 12-step consulting growth system. So you have your checklists and your timelines, and you know exactly what to do when. And if you're a pharmacist who loves their CE, then you'll like the CE credits that we have available in this course as well. We have a couple of CE credits that you can get for free included with the course that actually our own members have made. So these are all members of the Academy, and they, as part of their business, they're like, we want to create CEs for other pharmacists and prescribers to kind of understand pharmacogenomics more. So they worked together within the Academy and created CEs that now you can like just go and selfishly consume and get CE credits as well, because we know pharmacists love their CE. And you'll learn from some of our members who have their own consulting practices and have built it and love PGX. You'll learn from an interesting person rather than just a boring academic. So anyway, that's in there too. And our goal for this Academy and working with us is that you see a very quick return on your investment. So our goal is that by seeing 1, 2, maybe 3 patients a month, you can get a return on your investment for the membership to the Academy, because we understand that how to start a business and that you want to make sure that your investment in yourself is actually profitable. So the way we structure it is to see a quick ROI on your investment, as well as my favorite part, that we have 100% money back guarantee that will be in your student contract you signed. That if you go through all of these steps, if you go through the 12-step consulting growth system and follow all of our protocol within the course, and you do not earn at least the investment you made in this company, then we give you your money back. So you like literally have nothing to lose. We're trying to make this as easy as possible to feel like there is zero risk and all reward, and want to do that by the way we structure our pricing, that like see 1 to 3 patients a month, it's paid for. if you have done all this work and haven't earned all of your money back, then we'll give you your money back and you'll have not been any worse off. So the goal is like to get you started, to have zero risk, because we believe in our program and we've seen it work for hundreds. So we stand by our guarantee. Because we can relate to like all of the uncertainty and the questions, and we've done it. And we just want you to join us and join our mastermind of pharmacists, all included in this program. And this is what one of our members, Alyssa, was saying, like, this is why I decided to pay for membership rather than trying to figure out, because I would rather spend the money to just save time. Look at this gorgeous checklist. How many months, headaches, dollars would have went into trying to figure this out on my own? Time is not money. Thank you so much. Like, people like this program. And if you do it, it works. So right now you can stay procrastinating, waiting for more education, waiting for provider status, waiting for insurance to cover every service you want to offer for no charge. Or you can just take action and learn to start scrappy, because all other professions out there charge for their time and provide services that people pay for. It's time for pharmacists to do that. And we are excited to teach you how. So now at this point, you can claim your free gifts. You'll see the link popping up on the screen to get those free gifts. So, and they'll stay up for a couple minutes while I share a few more happy students and then talk about how to book a call. So I just want to let you know, if you're not like looking at the screen right now, if you're out doing things, that now is the time to download those two things: the mind map for all the ways you can be a pharmacist expert, and the white paper showing you about the confidence of pharmacists actually starting something new with pharmacogenomics. So we're just about to wrap up. I just wanted to show you a couple more examples and tell you how to book a call with our team. So this is Becky from our academy, and she said, if you would have told me I'd be quitting retail where I was paid at the top of my salary range while homeschooling my son 18 months ago, I would have said, you're insane. But I've worked harder than I have in 14 years. I'm undervalued. We say we're heroes, but we're not treated as such. Like, I'm taking the steps to learn more, joining the academy, and I finally gave my notice to CVS. So like, we have another quitter. Oh, here's another quitter. Here's Sue. She turned in her resignation letter, and she said, it's a really controversial topic, but as I was turning in my resignation letter, the manager said, like, you're not taking care of your patients. But she really felt like, I'm the best pharmacist I can be. I cannot take care of my patients in this work environment. I've never felt more free. Like, choose you. She said it. She quit her job too. And another one, I believe this was Melissa, is just talking about like all the progress she's making every week, and like seeing patients, working with her state, and like confidently moving forward. It's so awesome to see. So now at this point, we want to make sure you are right for the academy. So there's no link to like, oh, now buy our product here, on purpose, because we don't want just anyone in this academy. We want only the best pharmacists who are actually interested in doing this for their community. And so the way we do this is have you talk with one of our consultant pharmacists on a phone call and walk through your own unique situation to see if this, first of all, could really work for you. So we're going to like diagnose your situation, your history, what you want out of your career, and see if this should even work for you in the first place. Because we only want positive, uplifting people and want to make sure that this can actually work for your circumstance. So in order to join the academy, you book a call with our team. And our team is really cool because it's not like robot call centers from around the world. They're actually consultant pharmacists in our academy who've built a business, who are earning income from it, and now can talk you through if it's right for you. So like, they're real pharmacists. They have done this program, and they can actually address all of your questions. And so if any of these are you, then you should book a call. And I'll have that link in a second on the next screen. If you're working a job you don't want to be at in the future, you want more from your career, if you have goals but don't have systems for how to reach those career goals, you can read all of these. But really, if you feel like you need guidance and direction and just want to talk out your unique situation, let's book a call, because it's so fun to talk, and you'll really enjoy the phone call, because there's a lot of advancement happening in pharmacy right now, and it just needs innovative pharmacists to jump into these new places. Like in Kentucky, you can now bill for cognitive services. So we need pharmacists who are confident enough to bill for cognitive services. So cool. And so anyway, one of our members is developing these programs in a state that's very friendly to pharmacists. But every state, you make it work. Anyway, thank you for hanging with us clear till the end of this presentation. We're so, so, so grateful to have you. This is the chance to book a call with us, to really talk with another pharmacist who can look at your unique situation and your strengths and what you want out of your career and diagnose if this is right for you. So please book a call with us. We would love to talk with you. We're fun. We're not like salespeople or anything like that. We're just pharmacists who have banded together, who want precision medicine brought to our communities for our families. So book a call. The link has popped up. We'll also email it to you in a little bit. Book the call with us. We'd love, 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 love to talk with you and your situation and like see if this makes sense. And then we can answer. I've seen a couple of questions come in the chat. There we can better answer those specific questions in great detail on the call to make sure all of your questions are answered and you feel confident. So thank you for your time today. It's been delightful to see you and engage so much in the chat. I'd love to see you on the other side. And next step is just to book a call or hit reply to any of the emails. We'd love to answer your questions and take care of you. I hope regardless you feel confident as a pharmacist living today that there's a bright future with higher earning power and better patient satisfaction ahead. You just gotta be willing to make that change for yourself. Okay, everyone, have a good one. See ya.